This is a crazy story. I'm back home from work, man. So crazy story time. I'll wait for loads of people to join before I start. Yeah, it's this shoulder that's fucked. Absolutely killing me. This shoulder is. But yeah, I'm going to wait for loads of people to join before I start the story, because otherwise you'll all miss the story. Yeah, so let's wait for people to join. And I've got, I don't know, 30 or 40. I'll start the story. It's a mad story. Nothing to do with my life, this. This is a story that I'm going to retell to you from a story that I've heard myself. I'll just tell it you in my own way. Yeah? How is everybody? Are you good? I know I was going to come back on Monday, but I've got a bit of free time. So I thought I'd reiterate this story to you. I wasn't going to do another live until Monday. The thing I did about Russia earlier had to be done. Yeah, and it had to be done on that day because I'd had loads of information given to me that morning. I'd spoken to a few people the night before and it was all about Russia. So because it was fresh on my brain, even though I said I was going to have a week off, I thought I've got to do it and I need to get it out. Yeah, so that's why I did it. This is just a story, yeah, about a guy. Yeah, right, and it's gruesome. It's absolutely gruesome. I'm good, man, I'm good. Please come because there's a massive scrap, no way. Right. There won't be a world war. Trust me, there won't be a world war. There won't, definitely, 100%. I doubt it very much anyway. Even though certain people do want a world war, I think certain people will put a stop to it. Hello, hello, hello. Well, yeah, I'm not at work now, mate, so I can smoke a spliff in my house. I'm allowed to smoke weed, you know. Big respect, communism. Hi, goon. Let's say hello to everybody before I get on with this story. Yeah? It's not going to be a long live, but I'm going to tell you this story. Yes, Simon. Hello to Florida. Just skinning up yourself, UK lady. Yeah, boy. Smoke a spliff while I tell you a story. All right, Jamie. Ethan. I will. I'll enjoy it. I've earned it. Hello, Adam. Hello, Wilco. Hello, Ad. Some kind of... Yo, it's because you're right next to me on your phone. Yo, there we go. Right, I'm back. Right. So, we will call this guy... What should we call him? Fuck it. Let's call him Danny. But it wasn't me. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with me, this. So, there's a guy named Danny. Yeah? And he's been having problems with his stomach for a long time. He's been having pain. Quite a lot of pain in his stomach. Been wondering what's going on. It's quite a crippling pain. So he goes to the doctors. Doctor examines him. Yeah? And he says, you know something? I think it could be a problem with your gallbladder. So he sends him to the hospital to have a consultation with a surgeon. The surgeon does a few scans and says, yes, I believe it may be your gallbladder. So I'll book you in for surgery. The guy's like, fine. Danny's like, no problem. Goes home. Everything's fine. Not a problem. Now, Danny is a very well-respected man in the community. He's a big guy, and he's one of them dependable guys. You know, one of them guys that's always on a level. He's always dependable. You always know what mood he's in. He's got a strong, honest character, and he's loved by the community. Also loved by his family. Really good dad. Really good family man. Basically, the pillar of the community kind of guy. He's a really good man. But he's got these problems. So he's been and seen the surgeon, and the surgeon has said, no problem, we'll book you in next week. We'll do exploratory. We'll do some exploring, surgery-wise. I can't say the word. Do you know what I mean, right? And we'll go in, we'll take your gallbladder out, and we'll see what the problem is. He's like, yeah, no problem. So he goes to the hospital, says his wife goes with him. She gives him a cuddle. He's had surgery before. He's not worried. He's not bothered. He knows he's just going to go to sleep. He'll wake up. He'll be told what the problem is, or it'll be fixed. So, He's in the hospital. He gets put on the bed. He gets taken into the operating room. When he's in the operating room, he's been there before, normal procedure. The anaesthetist is over the other side of the room, the person who's going to put him to sleep. You've got the surgeon over here, some of the nurses. As he's laying there, he strikes up a conversation with one of the nurses. And as the nurse is talking to him, the anaesthetist comes over and starts administering one of two drugs. Now, when you get put to sleep, you are administered two drugs. One of them is to paralyse the body, and one of them is to actually knock you out. Yeah? So the anaesthetist puts the drugs into his arm, the nurse looks at him and says, right, count back from 10. Now he knows from previous experience that he's not going to get back from 10. He knows this. Usually you make it to about 4, 5 if you're lucky. So he starts counting back, making a mental note of how many seconds have gone by. Now he gets to 10 seconds and he's still not asleep. Now as all this is going on, the nurse is putting tape over his eyes. He's laid there, he's counting to 20, 30, 40. He's getting a bit worried now. He's not actually gone to sleep, but his body has stopped moving. It is paralysed. He can hear noises in the room. His eyes are taped shut. Now, when you get given this paralysing agent, every part of your body is paralysed, even your vocal cords. The only thing that you can move is your eyes. His eyes have been taped shut. He can hear the nurse talking to the doctor. He can hear the doctor picking up metallic tools. Think of the fear this man must have felt. Because he's paralysed, but he's not asleep. Now, when you have this paralysing agent, right, there's no pain relief. So whatever happens to you, you're going to feel all of it. Yeah? All he hears is, nurse, scalpel. The surgeon starts cutting at his stomach. He can feel everything. The pain is shooting through him. Every nerve ending is on fire. He starts rapidly moving his eyes. The only thing he can do, the only kind of control he's got over this situation is to rapidly move his eyes. Hopefully somebody will see. Nobody does. They're taped up. The surgeon keeps cutting until he makes a good sized hole in his stomach. Then all he hears is clamps. Now these clamps are designed to clamp your skin to your body, to expose the hole, to make the hole bigger. Yeah? He clamps his skin to his body. All the while, Danny can feel every single thing. He wants to die. To be honest, he wants to die at this point. He don't want to live no more. The pain this man is going through is unreal. Yeah? Then, forceps. Puts the forceps in to dislodge the gallbladder. To do this, he's got to go through the bowel wall, move the bowels aside, get right to the gallbladder and dislodge the fucking gallbladder. Now, this bloke is feeling every single fucking pain that is going through him right now is unreal. It would feel probably, I would imagine, like somebody is sticking hot coals inside your fucking stomach. He's screaming out in pain. His brain, every fucking sense that he's got wants him, he just wants to die. He can't take it no more. The pain is too much. He's been flicking his eyes from left to right for about 14 minutes. He has actually loosened, right, the straps over his eyes. As the gallbladder was loosened, the nurse happened to look up and look at his face, and she saw that he was awake. Stop, he's awake. The anaesthetist runs over, starts pumping him full of painkillers. As he's pumping him full of painkillers, he falls back asleep. And the anaesthetist has a clear vision of when the operation started, he'd only give him one of the two drugs, the paralysing agent. So whatever happened in that room, there was discussion between all the surgeons and the nurses, and they gave him one more drug. That drug was an amnesia drug. Made him forget that 16 minutes of surgery that he had endured, but it had imprinted itself onto his psyche. So he went home with his family. Don't forget, a lovely family man, brilliant man, pillar of the community, a stone, a rock for his family. He sat there with his wife on the first day out of hospital and he's watching a film. And all of a sudden, He just sits up, looks at something in front of him, and starts screaming at the top of his voice. There's something there in the room that is frightening him so much, it's shocked him to the point that he can't move. His wife looks, follows his eyes. There's nothing there. She's like, what is going on? So she's like, Danny, what's the matter? Come back to me. All she can do is put her hands on his face and beg her husband to come back. After a certain while, he does. He comes back into himself. He doesn't really know what's going on. What is going on is he's reliving those 16 minutes of surgery because it's imprinted itself on his brain. The poor man goes through this for 2 weeks and then kills himself. The family want to know what's gone on. They get a private investigator, which finds the medical notes from the surgery. She gives those medical notes to another doctor, and the other doctor describes to her what I've just described to you, which is what her husband went through. Now, that is a true story. Yeah? How awful. Now, the family did get an undisclosed massive amount of money off the hospital, but that's not the point, is it? Wow. So I put on men. I've been through surgery loads of times, and I've never asked that question. But when I go through surgery from now on, I'm going to say to the nurse, before he cuts me, make sure I'm asleep. That's the moral of the story. And RIP to the man that had to go through 16 minutes of fucking torture. And that will have been torture, let me tell you. What a mad story. And that's a true story. Yeah, 16 minutes. 16 minutes, man. 16 fucking minutes. And you know something? Listen to this. This is a mad statistic, right? So I think it's something like 16% of operations worldwide, yeah, they don't go through 16 minutes, but this happens at like 16% of the time. Do you know what I mean? That was just a rare case where the guy went through 16 minutes. Yeah, I know, man. It's woof, mate. That's a fucking... Feel sorry for the man. It was a man in America, that was. That was an American guy. So this is the thing. I tell you all to go and watch Mr. Balling, yeah? Do you know what I mean, right? Listen, I love Mr. Balling. If you haven't gone... Listen, if you like the strange, dark and mysterious delivered in story format, then go and watch Mr. Balling. I've listened to hundreds of stories from Mr. Balling. Yeah, that was just one that really shocked me, that I heard early when I was on the work van. So I thought I'd reiterate it to you lot, for those of you that don't watch Mr. Balling. I don't know. It didn't say what happened to the actual workers, to the surgeons and that. Yeah, Mr. Balling, mate. Listen, he's an ex-Navy SEAL as well. He looks like such a nice man. And the way he tells the stories is flat, but I don't mean boring. What I mean is, he's got a very good voice for narration. He has. Do you know what I mean? I listen to him all the time. He's brilliant. Mr. Balling is brilliant. Yes, Flying Monk. Aye, Flying Monk. Get back about 10 minutes, and I've just told a real story, not about my life, but a story that I've heard that I've just reiterated to everyone. And it's a mad, horrific story. And I've just told it from start to finish. So if you go back 10 minutes, you'll get to listen to the story that I've just told. It's a mad story, Monk. It's a horrific story, but it's a mad story. And there is a thing at the end of it, like, you know, you ever go into surgery, make sure that you are asleep. Do you know what I mean? Make sure that the nurse makes sure that you are asleep. That is the moral to that story. Well, maybe your friend could take me in an arm wrestle. I've not got the biggest arms in the world, have I? Yeah, this is the real Danny G. Mad story though, yeah. Crazy story that. Oh, let's not get into Hillary, shall we? Jesus Christ, genocidal maniac. Part of a family that are all genocidal maniacs. Let's not go there. Just make sure you're asleep, mate. I mean, surgery is sometimes needed. I've had a few surgeries because they've been needed. Yeah. I mean, this arm wouldn't even, fuck me, my bones come out my arm and that. So without this surgery on this arm, it wouldn't even move and that. So it's needed sometimes. Yeah, Monk, it's a mad story. I don't know if I told it as good as Balling does, you know what I mean? But I told it in my own way. Yeah, it's a mad story, Monk. It's horrific. R.I.P. to the guy, it's horrific. Has anybody had what? I don't know, maybe. Nah, because if you get, no, that wouldn't happen actually. Because if you're given the anaesthetic, the actual shit that puts you to sleep, knocks you out, you're going to get knocked out, bro. So, nah, that wouldn't happen. You wouldn't wake up, I don't think. But do you know something? It probably has happened, though. Because there's so many surgeries going on during the world that I would imagine that has happened. It's got to have. I wouldn't imagine it's a regular occurrence, but I bet you there's some people's bodies that when they give them the amount that is supposed to knock you out for like 4 hours, I bet you some people's bodies fight it a little bit and you wake up in 2 hours. So I bet you that shit has actually happened. It's got to have. Oh, my missus says it has happened. Tony says it has happened. Definitely 100%. So she must have heard of it before. She watches a lot of stuff as well, so. I would fit well in Glasgow. I like Scotland, mate. Oh no, there's videos on YouTube. No way. So yeah, obviously. Like I said, I would have expected that it would probably happen. Yes, Mark. Mate, well, maybe I might start doing one live a week where I tell a story. I'll find one off the internet, like an original story or something, and I'll tell you the story. I mean, obviously, you must all know about the lone berserker in 1066 on Stamford Bridge. You must all know about that, yeah? So everybody put yeses in the comments or no in the comments, and if there's more people that say no, I'll tell you the story. It's a good story. And the thing is I know my history, so I will give you some correct history on how this shit happened. Communism knows it. Right, okay then. There's more people who don't know it, right? So basically, 1066, the Battle of Hastings, right, was not fought at Hastings, for starters. Let's just get that out of the way. It was fought at a place between Hastings, a place called Battle, yeah? Well, it's called Battle now. So if you ever want to go anywhere in England and you want to see where the Battle of Hastings actually took place, go to Battle. It's not far from Hastings. I drive through it on my run all the time, yeah? In fact, you know something? Next time I'm in Battle, I'll do a live from the hill where it took place, yeah? And I'll show you where that battle took place. I will definitely do that for you. I'll stop my van, I'll get out, and I'll take you to where the Battle of Hastings took place, right? That'll be a little mad one for you, that, right? I'll climb up the hill and everything. Do you know what I mean, right? But, so it took place halfway between. Now, what happened was, this is basically what happened, right? When they attacked, right, the court, Harold Hardrada, unawares. Now, Harold Hardrada had gone to take fealty off loads of English nobles, basically. And his men had come from the ships without their armour, right? They still had the weapons, but they didn't have no armour. And when he was taking fealty, yeah, right, see, Harold Hardrada, the way he attacked was he was a shock and awe guy. So he'd turn up, fuck shit up without you knowing he was there, and then disappear. Turn up somewhere else, fuck shit up because he was a beast of a man, yeah, then disappear, right? But the thing is, William the Conqueror knew this was his tactics, knew, right? So he took it to him, yeah, right? He literally took it to him, right? Now, he got caught with his trousers down, basically, totally unawares, yeah? Harold Hardrada, rather than retreating, he was a warlord and half, mate. He turned round and said, let's fucking go. Ordered his men into line with no armour and got ready to face the fucking charge. And they did. It was a slaughterhouse, believe me. That was a slaughterhouse, that battle, right? Unfortunately, he took an arrow in the throat. Yeah, right? He was surrounded on all sides. He ended up going to Stamford Bridge. Yeah. The only thing I know truly, nobody knows really, because it's a saga, so nobody knows, but nobody knows. But it was one man that held off the whole army, basically. One geezer. One man. Just one. Just one berserker. One lone berserker. Just one geezer. Do you know what I mean? Seriously. One fucking geezer. Right? And it wasn't the battle with... It wasn't the battle with William that this took place in. Yeah, this was the battle, right, with the English Thanes. This was the battle with the English army. Yeah, I was describing this wrong at the beginning. This was the battle with the English army. This happened at Stamford Bridge. Yeah, the Battle of Hastings is a totally different battle. But the moral of this battle is, when Harold took the arrow in the throat, his army needed to retreat back to the boats, right? So his army picked Harold up and retreated back to his boats. And as they was retreating, they went over a bridge. The bridge, from the best sagas that I've read, that have been translated into English, the bridge was about 4 men wide. So 4 men stood shoulder to shoulder, could walk over this bridge, 4 at a time. So it wasn't like one man held off an whole army, like stood in a field. It wasn't like that. It was a bit like the Battle of Thermopylae, the Hot Gates. There was funneled into a certain spot. It was a big, massive berserker, and he had a great axe, a Dane war axe, yeah? And he was just cleaving mans left and right. No matter how many 4 went at him, he was just cleaving them and killing them and cleaving them and killing them, just ripping them to bits, mate. Arms, legs. I mean, apparently, from the best knowledge that I've got of this, he was killing people for over 25 to 30 minutes, mate. So one geezer was chopping motherfuckers down, and you've got to understand that at the beginning of this, they would have funneled 4 men onto the bridge, 4 abreast, and they would have been tightly packed all the way back, I would imagine, trying to get over the bridge. So if he's killing people for like half an hour, I don't know how many people he's fucking killed, but eventually they sent men down underneath the bridge with long spears, and they speared him from underneath the bridge. And that's the only way they could dislodge him from that bridge. But it did give Harold Hardrada time to get away, but he did die anyway. So the berserker didn't save his life, but he probably saved his honour, because I would imagine if they would have got hold of him, they would have probably cut his head off and put it on a pike. So they did save his honour, yeah, but that is the Battle of Stamford Bridge. That is like the berserker that held up. It was one man, and a lot of people say it wasn't. Nah, it's bullshit. No, it was. It was definitely one geezer. I don't know his name. Nobody knows his name. Nobody knows who he is. Yeah, no one, right? But it was literally, it was him. It was one dude. I just don't know the geezer's name. I would love to know his name, because I bet he was an absolute fucking tank. I bet he was an absolute fucking tank. But I'll tell you how Hastings and that happened, because when I started explaining it, I started explaining the Battle of Hastings, which was not this battle. So what happened was Harold Hardrada attacked from the north. Yeah? He came in, he raided loads of lands. Right? At the time, the English king was dead, and I believe it was Harold Godwinson. It was Harold Godwinson.